Hello there. I'm Bruce Goldstein, Film Forum's Repertory Artistic Director. And our guest today, Tristan Pollack, happens to be a member of our Film Forum staff. Yes. Tristan works in development and membership, and if you're a Film Forum member, it's very possible you've spoken with him on the phone when you were having trouble with your membership card or something like that, or maybe you just wanted to bullshit or something. I don't know. Tristan is also the grandson of Hiroshi Teshigahara, one of the leading avant-garde filmmakers of his day, most famous for his 1964 woman masterpiece, Woman in the Dunes. He also directed this afternoon's film from 1966, The Face of Another, starring Tetsuya Nakadai and Machiko Kyo. By the way, Nakadai was here in person in 2007. The Teshigahara family is also well known in Japan for the Sogetsu Ryu, one of the country's most famous schools of ikebana, or flower arranging. It was founded by Teshigahara's father, Sofu Teshigahara, in 1927, the year of Hiroshi's birth. And in 1980, Hiroshi became the school's third Iamoto, or Grand Master. The Sogetsu Ryu occupies the five-story Sogetsu Kaikan, one of Tokyo's most famous buildings, directly across from the Imperial Palace. And now, years before he came to work for us, I met Tristan here at Film Forum at some screenings of his grandfather's film. He must have been a teenager. And I met his mother, Kiri, years before that, in 1997, when we first revived Woman in the Dunes. And you know you're getting old when you say, I knew your mother. I don't know Greta Gerwig, but I was pals with her mother-in-law. So I'm really happy to invite Tristan to introduce today's film. Please welcome Tristan Teshigahara Pollack. Break a leg. Oops. I screwed it up for you already. Go ahead, grab that.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here this afternoon, especially on a rainy day like today. It's so great to see a sold-out show like this, so I just want to express my gratitude for coming out. I'd first like to acknowledge Japan Foundation, co-presenter of this series. Japan Foundation lent us and shipped us today's rare 35mm print, which comes from their film library in Tokyo. A special thanks to Japan Foundation's Akinaru Rokaku and Shun Inoue. I can't thank Bruce enough for inviting me to participate in this series as a program advisor. And I also want to thank all my friends and family for coming out today. It really means a lot to me, so thank you for your support. I'm deeply honored to introduce my grandfather's third feature, The Face of Another. For me, among his films, The Face of Another is perhaps the film that best reflects the Japanese avant-garde spirit of the 1960s. Three figures who made some of their strongest work from this era were filmmaker Hiroshi Teshigahara, novelist and screenwriter Kobo Abe, and composer Toru Takemitsu, whose collaborative spirit led to the making of The Face of Another. Although one of the themes in The Face of Another is a man in conflict with his own double, which had been used in other movies before, no other film before or since has explored it with such complexity with its nuanced examination of Japanese society. The Face of Another distinguished itself, especially for its time, by addressing unique existential themes: the self in society, the mask that we choose to wear to fit into society. Two Japanese concepts can be said to describe both Abe and Teshigahara's preoccupations at the time. The first is the idea of honne, which literally translates to true sound, means your true feelings or your innermost feelings. Tatemae, literally facade, refers to your outward thoughts concealing your true feelings. All societies around the world deal with some version of honne and tatemae, But for Abe and Teshigahara, this very idea is something you just can't escape from. It occurred to me that both Abe and Teshigahara were both exposing and critiquing these concepts. I believe that they were exploring the deceptive feeling of freedom one would feel by wearing a mask, which is to ask, perhaps, who are we without our masks, and what are our masks? Kobo Abe, the novelist and screenwriter for The Face of Another, who was my grandfather's lifelong friend, collaborator, senpai, or elder, continued to raise these questions and themes in the form of novels, essays, and screenplays. Together with their friend composer Toru Takemitsu, Abe and Teshigahara made 4 features, and The Face of Another is the 3rd feature of these collaborations. To give you a little bit of background, Kobo Abe and Hiroshi Teshigahara's partnership extends much earlier than the films they made together. Abe was the leader of Seiki no Kai, or the Century Society, founded in 1948, and considered to be one of the earliest surrealist art groups in Japan. My grandfather happened to be the youngest member of this group. The mission of this group was focused on cross-collaboration between its members, all of whom were artists, writers, painters, or critics in their 20s and 30s. From there, Abe and my grandfather started their collaborations working on books, and then they moved on to making films. What many admirers of The Face of Another often miss is just how political it is. Like many great works of art, there was a political cause behind it. I'm referring specifically to my grandfather's response to the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, when he was 18 years old. My grandfather shocked both his family and some of his friends by going off to study and rally with radical leftist filmmaker Fumio Kame. My grandfather got his start in film making by co-directing Kame's Ikiteita Yokata, which means it's great to be alive, one of the first documentaries to bear witness to the Hibakusha, or atom bomb survivors. When I was 10 years old, before my grandfather got ill, he would often tell me stories of how he could see the remnants of the mushroom cloud from Tokyo. What I took from these stories was that after witnessing the bombings, he knew that he couldn't be anything else but an artist. Working with Kame indelibly moved my grandfather. In fact, many members of Kame's crew would later work on my grandfather's own films, including Women in the Dunes, The Face of Another. My grandfather was always in search of something, searching within himself, searching for new artistic mediums, searching for solutions to social injustice, but he was always searching for new forms of expression. I hope my grandfather's The Face of Another will inspire you, as it has always inspired me to continue to search for and create new forms of expression. I think you'll agree that it's more relevant today than ever. Thanks so much for coming, and enjoy the film.
And Tristan and I are talking about doing a Teshigahara festival here. Maybe next year. It's very difficult to put together, but we're working on it with Japan Foundation. Thank you.
Okay, great.